Hello, everybody. As you said, I'm Bill Ziggo, known through American Mensa as Ziggy, and it's now going to be my pleasure to introduce Teresa Wong, a LEAP ambassador from Mensa, Australia. She's been in Mensa for 3 years, and she in fact joined Mensa because she met another LEAP ambassador. So, rewards there. She is in a business that you wouldn't necessarily associate with people like this. She is in property development, and that's also very often a position that one thinks is held by a man, let alone a woman, let alone someone in an organization such as Mensa. And one of the things that she has to do on a daily basis is that she has to communicate her thoughts to people that work and think with different concepts, she has to make sure that they understand the points that she's trying to get across. And now she's going to explain to this how she does that by making the complex ideas up here come out in much simpler and straightforward terms out here. So, Teresa.
Thank you, Ziggy. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. I am Teresa Wong. I'd like to describe myself as a banana. I'm yellow outside, but I'm white inside. And looking a little Asian, coming from Sydney, Australia, it's all very confusing. Our previous two speakers, Ferdinand and PJ, they have the sexiest Mexican and Serbian accents. And then Bill comes on, Ziggy comes on with that deep voice. How can I compete? Being a guest of Mensa International is a privilege, and thank you very much. I've learned so much in the last 48 hours. I have rewritten my talk 3 times. So much so that I thought, I've got to go back to the origin, back to the future. There's just too much to incorporate. And it's like on a superhighway here at this convention. I'm learning from everybody at every conversation. It's like eavesdropping in on the biggest gossip in the world. It's disguising what I'm really going to talk about. Who's going to organise the fund? The objective of the talk is to encourage you all to participate in all forms of project management. Project manage yourself, your work and social life. Organise more Mensa events. Raise curiosity, feed motivation, foster participation, ergo leadership. It's what LEAP is all about. My personal objective, my personal managed project, is to eventually present to Mensa International a program called Ask. It's to create a portal to be used internationally for inquiries and contacts, events management, and so forth. More about that later on. Now, the ad or the bio says that I believe there are natural leaders, managers. Well, yes, I do. According to research, we've all seen the research, I believe 70% of Mensans are introverted, and 90% of us prefer our own company, probably because we've been rejected by everybody else, not to mention the social and mental disorders. So who's going to organise the fun? For those unnatural born leaders, you can learn, and for the natural born leaders, you need to hone your skills constantly. Oh, this one. Okay. All leads to more participation, more leaders, more fun. This is how I feel. Fostering leadership is a real human challenge, not a math problem. Now, what is project management? It's logistics. It's delivery of an item or service best way we can. There's never a perfect way, but there is a better way. We could just leave every manager to manage their own people and their own devices. The downside is that we pass on personal interpretations of what that offers or event requires, which is great, personality is great, but we also need the basic information. And that's where you can create simple templates for the basic information, and then we can blend the personality into the project. This is probably typical of normal people. You have a group, and there's a few vocal people, 3 or 4, not many, and eventually, after lots and lots of conversation, we get to the core of it. What a project manager does is set that core first, so it's fast-tracked. Now, in Mensa or in any volunteer organisation, we're quite relaxed about it because it's fun, it's social. And when we make inquiries, what is the event? Where do we go to? Where is the garden salon? It's a bit like, oh, well, they're amateurs, it's a volunteer organisation, somebody will tell me, or if I don't find out, who cares? Not good enough. Mensa is a business like any other, and we're to foster leadership, foster membership. It has to take a different attitude. It's easy to talk, we need this, we need that. Well, let's talk, and let's put it into action. Mensa is competing with thousands of other forms of entertainment. Your social club, your bridge club, the golf club, the movie club, the dinner club. Why the heck do you want to come to Mensa? We've got to make it sexy. You know, all these ideas, all these little bits of action, they're only trickles of water in the bathtub. But eventually, we keep trickling that water, it will be full. So you really want to be a project manager, eh? Okay, how do we become? We just asked about who wants to be a project manager. How do we become a project manager? Or how do we project manage? Well, it's by communication. Luckily, websites can afford us to communicate more easily. We can edit, it's less confronting. But sooner or later, you're going to have to talk. You're going to have to manage people. And many cultural differences can cause divides. For example, if I'm selling a property deal to a Hong Kong-based investor, I sell to him quite differently as I would to his neighbour, the mainlander, the Mandarin-speaking investor, because there's a big cultural difference. These are charts that come out of a book called When Cultures Collide. And you can look it up for yourself, Google it, download it. But I just want to concentrate on, oops, you can't blow this up like this. I've tried it and it works. The Australian one is particularly correct. So I'm sorry you won't be able to read all that, it's so small I haven't been able to blow that up. The next one, you can just see how different these charts are. The next one, I would want you to look at the Italian one at the top. I had a builder that had done probably 3 projects for me, the smaller ones, 10, 50, 60 units. I was never able to really communicate with him. He was argumentative, as builders are. He lied to me all the time, as builders do. And I thought, I'm going to overcome this. I'm going to really communicate with him. Cajoling him, reasoning, nothing worked. Getting him drunk, nothing worked. Until I finally found this chart. The chart says, verbose approach, misconception, more verbosity. No? My eyes are so bad. Flexibility and then clarity. And I thought, well, what does that mean? So when he started yelling and telling me all these lies, I just yelled louder. And he just caved in. It works. So ever since then, before I meet someone, I go to my chart. Sad but true. Someone's actually done a really good job on it. There's other negotiation skills, and like mainland China and Hong Kong being so different, this next one shows you neighbouring countries. Swedish and Finnish. Quite different. I love the Finns. So straightforward. I had Finnish backpackers staying with me at my home, Mensans, who were travelling, And he's a plumber. He was a latecomer to Mensa, he was about 35. And I showed him the chart, and he said, oh, yes, definitely, very true. I said, well, can you give me an example of that? And he said, well, we like our space. My girlfriend and I get up on Saturday morning, we eat, we go on our laptops, and then 3 hours later, we say good morning. Oh, okay. And he said, and for example, he showed me a picture of his bus stop in the morning. Peak hour in the morning going to work. You know, bus stops, there's all these little people jammed together waiting to get on the bus. The Finnish people are 1 metre apart. They're 2 blocks down on the bus stop. Space. So am I going to negotiate with that Finn close up with lots of words? No, this is not going to work. So unfortunately, charts and templates can only do a certain amount, and after that you need to be sensitive to your team, to your management. Okay, now we look at what is project management. For me, it's the process of managing people. It's not the event. It's managing with people, because they're the people that are going to do the task. Working with people, understanding what they can do for you and with you. To enhance the process, templates can be used to hand over exchanges of basic information, assisting our volunteers to manage the task at hand. So I call this method the DIP method. Define, identify, and process. It's all terribly simple. There's 1, 2, and 3. There's steps in Ferdinand's approach. There are steps in PJ's approach. Everything's stepped because they have project managed their talk. They've organised their thoughts. This is all we're doing. Project management is very simple. D for define. We're defining what we want to do. What is the project? What are the other added benefits? And what is the market? For example, if you're organising a Christmas party, oh, haha, wine for the Christmas party. Oh, no, it's not. This is a chance to procure more members, introduce ourselves, promote Mensa, promote the next event. It's not just a Christmas party. Let's make the most out of it. Identify what are the tasks. Technically, buy some food, buy some wine. So what? But what sort of manpower do we need? Who's going to tend the bar? All the other contingencies that happen around it. What if we run out of food? Is someone going to get it? Blah, 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 blah. So identifying the different elements is important. And then putting it all together is the process part of it, actually doing the task itself. Okay, simple. What we're going to look at a little later on is how we apply it to complex people. It changes a little bit. Okay. What I like to do before every project is I actually DIP myself. I DYI and I DIP myself. Okay, who am I? What role am I going to play? What can I do and what can't I do? And what resources do I have? And then I actually go into the process of organising or planning that project. So I need to identify myself and my role first. It's like a pre-dipping. Okay. Just out of interest, I want to ask how many of you here have an international membership number to access Mensa International?
What do you mean? I mean,
Mensa.org.
How many of us are in Mensa, the Mensa International website?
we have to have our own national membership number. Yeah.
You have your national membership number, but who has an international one?
You have to go to the website and create it.
Exactly. Wouldn't it be nice if we all had one? We could all be in contact with each other and communicate and just foster a broader outlook. And why I ask that is because my personal pet project is called Ask. This project involves a lot of people, and what it does is threading people together throughout the world of Mensa. Unlike TED, which is somewhat watered down, Mensa has an exclusive audience, and we can hone in and focus and use these brains of ours. How do we do that? I wanted to create a portal, just an inquiry box of 20 words. Of course, you're going to get some rubbish in there. Through an international inquiry box, that gets sent to a national inquiry box, and from there on, anyone looking at it can then use the normal software, WhatsApp, WeChat, Skype, or whatever to communicate. For example, I want to grow worm farms. I will type in worm farms, soil, growing in Serbia. And hopefully someone in a worm farm in China is going to contact me and say, hey, I'm doing that project. Another example would be I'm developing brainwave, tracing brainwave patterns during the sleep time, which one of our German Mensa visitors was doing. And it took him 6 months to find someone else in the world doing the same thing. He's now in Cambridge doing it. But if he had that portal, if he had that inquiry box, brainwaves, dream time, punch it in, imagine not only are maybe we're not doing it, but maybe we know someone. And of course, we all know thousands of people. So I think this thread, this box, is going to facilitate. I won't get too much off track, but I'll just stick on this. So access is needed. We need to seek, which is the same thing as identifying all the different elements that are involved. We need the national links. We need to manage the traffic. But the chatter with X amount of words per day, if I allow for 10,000 chats a day, isn't even 5 gigs, so it's not a problem. We could put the data repository and have that replenished or deleted every month so it's fresh. And then click OK. When we actually design and install the software or incorporate that, and then the beta testing, and then we go live, and then we maintain the system. So that is my little pet project. I'm hoping to thread Mensa together. Because all of our websites, nationally and internationally, differ. And they differ according to the personalities and the office bearers that are managing that site. And you know what? Give it up. It's not going to change. It's going to take forever. So what can we do? All we can do is not band-aid it, but add that thread. Because by adding that thread, all of us are going to find a way of doing something better. And maybe our website will be just that. Let's not do it alone. Let's do it together. With so much information and entertainment in the world, Mensa is competing with all of those. How do we compete? On one hand, Mensa's strength is that we are exclusive, yet most members are reclusive. Once again, this link, this thread, will help bring those quiet people together. Are Mensas complex? We would like to think we are, but maybe we're just quicker and deeper in all of our processing of the world. In the other world, we're so used to others not thinking things through. We are normally the leaders in our field, our chosen professions. And I am guilty also of when being asked something that I think I can do it better. Now that's the crux of it. I'm going to now share some examples of what could go wrong that are rather funny, and only Mensans could do it this way. At our Sydney conference last year, I was catering for the executive committee. So having had a French cook, a French chef for an ex-husband, loved cooking, loved managing, loved catering. And also I wanted to listen in to all the gossip at the executive committee meeting. So I sent someone out to buy some butter portions. You know, I have everything on a spreadsheet. I have my timeline, I have my schedule, my volunteers, my backups. Of course, 2 volunteers didn't turn up, so I just grabbed someone else and I said, I want 11 tubs of margarine or soft butter. Out he went. He came back with 4 sticks of hard butter. I said, why did you do this? And he said, you obviously haven't thought it through. I'm economising. I said, okay, well, I now need paper, I now need a knife to cut, divide, and it's going to look awful, it's going to look unhygienic. And what for, to save $4? I said, I did think it through. He was used to people not thinking. And so he tried to add value to it. Of course he did. So after that, when I sent someone out for milk and cereal, oh boy, did I explain what I meant. Okay. During the prior to the conference, we had to fill registration bags. Oh, boring. Okay. 17 different things put in a bag. So I asked one person to do one task. And we had a logistics expert come along and said, "Oh, help us." Great. I said, "Can you put that pen in that bag?" So we've got 300 bags. What he did is he cleared out everyone else's table and put all his bags on their table and put a pen in it in the quickest amount of time possible. But what he did, he destroyed the whole system. No one else could work. He was used to working alone. He was used to giving direction, not taking it. Managing a Mensa is like operating your computer or phone. Such capacity, but you have to isolate the function. Yes, not politically correct, but necessary. For tasks, you need to micromanage Mensas. For projects, you need to totally let go, but you need to delegate only one person with a deadline, because complex people complicate things. The danger of letting a group or a committee of Mensas loose is that no one will ever agree on anything. And this is just a silly example. Once again, at the end of these registration bags, we had X number of lollies. We had a maths professor work out exactly how many lollies we could put in each bag. Oh, easy division. But then someone got more reds than blues. 4 people took an hour to argue about how many blue and red lollies. And should they be done by age group? Huh? How chewable they are? Are you suggesting older people don't have the teeth to chew? Oh, it just went on and on. Okay. So, sorry. Simple is project management, and simple in managing complex people. I hate to say it, you need to micromanage.